fait souffrir, ça vous fait rire, ça vous fait pleurer. C'est la vie que vous êtes censé représenter.
J'ai trouvé cette histoire très divertissante.
Hello and welcome to today's cinema show. I'm joined by France 24's film critic Lisa Nesselson. Hello, Lisa.
Hello there.
And Lisa, we're going to start with a film that's been lauded by critics. It's called Les Amandiers, or Forever Young, but its release has been overshadowed by accusations against one of its stars, 25-year-old actor Sofiane Bennacer, who we see on the film's poster. Several of his ex-girlfriends accuse him of rape, one of domestic violence. Altogether, there are 3 investigations underway. Now, Bennacer had been selected by France's Académie des Césars as one of the year's promising talents, but Lisa, they removed that honor when these accusations came to light.
Well, I'm as attached to the idea of presumption of innocence as I am to the ritual of communal movie-going in theaters. Media outlets are now blithely referring to l'affaire Bennacer, the Bennacer affair. A handful in cinemas in France chose to stop showing the movie, and ticket sales did go down after the story broke, but it's worth noting that it's still on the same number of screens as Black Panther, a lot. The producers of the film say that, quote, there is no Bennacer affair, even if it turns out that the actor is guilty of sexual misconduct, and he categorically denies the charges. The producers could not have fired him and jeopardized the entire film and 89 salaried people because of a rumor. Since the formal complaint about events that allegedly took place in 2019 was unknown at the time of casting, and the justice system had not yet formulated charges, there were no grounds to deprive Bennacer of a role and also deprive audiences of his strong contribution to an ensemble piece brimming with young talent. I see no reason to take it out on the film itself because it has a lot going for it as a portrait of youth at a specific time and place.
All right, well, Forever Young follows the lives of a group of ambitious young drama students in the 1980s, a time of casual drug use and the growing specter of AIDS. Let's take a look.
Je m'appelle Pierre Roman et je suis le directeur de l'école. Patrice Chéreau est le directeur du théâtre.
Vous allez bien?
C'est le centre de l'Europe, ce théâtre.
L'important, c'est le travail. C'est pas la présence sur scène. Et je vous le dis tout de suite, je pourrais pas être démocratique avec vous.
C'est mon rêve de coucher avec toi. Moi aussi, c'est mon rêve.
Je n'ai pas peur, je ne songe pas à avoir peur.
Tu sais, je suis fou. Faut que tu le saches.
Tout le monde est fou.
Soit vous menez une vie normale, soit vous devenez actrice, et là, vous brûlez vos vies.
Now, the film, like all of Valeria Bruni-Tedeschi's films as a director thus far, is autobiographical. The female lead is a stand-in for her, and Bennacer is a stand-in for her real-life boyfriend at the time, who was charismatic, troubled, and hopelessly addicted to drugs. Bruni-Tedeschi trained as an actor in the 1980s at the Amandiers Academy in the Paris suburb of Nanterre. It was run by the late director and actor Patrice Chéreau, who is mostly lionized to this day, played here by Philippe Garrel. Chéreau had strong ideas about how to forge young people into actors, and many of Bruni-Tedeschi's classmates have also gone on to illustrious acting careers. The film has been sold to many countries, and I hope people beyond France will have the option of seeing it.
Yeah, we'll have to see how those investigations shake out as well, Lisa. Now, the director of this next film also has a thriving career as a musician and DJ. Prolific iconoclast Quentin Dupieux has been making nearly a film a year for a decade or so. His latest out this week after premiering in Cannes is Smoking Causes Coughing, and as you'll see, it does look quite silly.
Profitez bien de ce séjour, reposez-vous et surtout, je vous le répète, travaillez sur la cohésion du groupe.
J'ai attrapé un barracuda. Oh, le stress pour rien.
N'importe quoi.
J'en sais rien!
T'es pas sérieuse.
Faut que je le dise à la caméra, ça.
J'arrête pas de penser, c'est fabuleux, j'adore faire ça.
Ferme ta gueule!
C'est en étant soudés que vous pourrez sauver le monde.
Bon, allez, qu'on en finisse. On y va.
We're giggling here. Dupuy's films tend to have short running times and enough ideas for about a dozen different movies. This time around, he turns his considerable talents to a bargain basement band of superheroes, Tobacco Force, who, while on a retreat to make the group more cohesive, get caught up in stories within stories within stories. It's great fun as a viewer to be overtly manipulated in this way. You've seen the kinds of movies this film affectionately spoofs, but I doubt you've ever seen a movie quite like this, except maybe this director's previous work. He is that singular.
Well, the actors, Lisa, certainly seem to have enjoyed themselves. Let's hear from actress Anaïs Desmoustiers, who plays one of the members of the Tobacco Force.
It was so much fun. I've done some films that are very realistic, very natural, where I played characters very similar to myself. So when he tells me I have to wear a jumpsuit, fake boobs, and a wig, I'm delighted.
Now, Lisa, Dupuy once made a film starring an evil car tire. That was 2010 horror comedy Rubber. Since then, though, he has started attracting more prestigious casts, you could say. What's his secret for getting all of these top-notch actors?
Well, I think the pleasures to be had in a certain style of comedy is that the situations are preposterous, but the characters don't know that. The actors are clearly reveling in being completely deadpan in the service of the story.
I think this is definitely one that I want to see. All right, next we're going to talk about the restored re-release of a French, Algerian, Italian co-production from 30 years ago. That's Ettore Scola's Le Bal. It's set in a Paris dance hall over the course of half a century. It represented Algeria at the Oscars. It won Best Film, Best Director, and Best Music at the César here in France, and those same 3 awards, plus Best Editing at the David Di Donatello Awards in Italy. Let's take a look at the wordless creativity of Le Bal.
Now, this is a film I first saw when it came out in 1983 and have revisited with enormous pleasure several times since. It's a tour de force of what a fine director with an excellent cinematographer, choreographer, an outstandingly versatile cast, and a gifted composer can accomplish with evocative set design, inventive choreography, and no dialogue. The film starts at the dance hall, which has seen better days, trying to adapt to disco. It moves back in time to 1936 and the excitement of the popular front when social progress was really a palpable goal. The same setting welcomes the same actors as they affect different personas during World War II and the German occupation, the giddy energy of the liberation of Paris, the rigors of the Algerian War, the student-led unrest of May 68, returning to what was then the present disco. By the time the film has explored these decades of history, close dancing is a thing of the past. The rules of flirting and courtship have changed, but the subtext, the fight against loneliness, remains. People can be alone together in a dance hall, and we can still be alone together in a movie theater.
Oh, it does sound very poetic. Definitely not one to miss. Finally, from you, Lisa, this year marks 60 years since the death of Marilyn Monroe, and from now through December 18th, there's a retrospective of her films at the Cinémathèque Française here in Paris.
You know, it's easy to forget that she earned her fame. She was talented, very. Some people say more books have been written about Marilyn Monroe, real name Norma Jean Baker, than any other celebrity. Her life is the kind of rags to riches to early death story that America seems particularly good at inflicting on stellar talents. And Monroe was not only gorgeous and shapely. If you take the time to watch her films, you'll see that she could unquestionably act as well as sing and dance with genuine skill and panache. She created the character of Marilyn Monroe and played her so convincingly that she could never really get away from that invented persona. She worked with the cream of Hollywood talent, from the Marx Brothers to Billy Wilder, Howard Hawks, Otto Preminger, and George Cukor, and beside the likes of Cary Grant, Robert Mitchum, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon. She appeared in 2 of the greatest American films of all time, a small role in All About Eve, and an unmissable one in Some Like It Hot. If Marilyn Monroe is just a name and a few iconic photos for you now. Please do take the time to explore her body of screen work.
Yeah, Some Like It Hot was one of my favorite films as a child. Well, we'll end with a medley of her film work as a reminder of the enduring talent behind the icon. Lisa, thank you so much. Thanks to all of you for watching. For more culture news, you can always head to our website or find us on social media. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Versailles, Mont-Saint-Michel, the Louvre are well-known stars of French heritage. But French genius and France harbors many other hidden treasures. The arts, gastronomy, architecture, as well as nature's wonders. Come along with France 24, discover France's living heritage. From young apprentices to accomplished craftsmen and farmers, to Michelin star sporting chefs, meet these people whose passion for their professions preserve and drive French heritage.
You are here on France 24 and France24.com.